Video 3, DaVinci's Medicine Wheel. Circles have been sacred to cultures across our history. Our contemporary understanding of these symbols benefits from the wisdom of the spiritual and astrological teachings received over millennia across our planet. The recurrence of this convergent discovery forms the backbone of oral, visual, and artistic inheritance across all continents. It comes as no surprise that Da Vinci also recognized the power of the wheel to represent the alignment and synchronicity of our physical, mental, emotional, and spiritual realities. The 4 teachings of the medicine wheel are the physical or body, the mental or mind, the emotional or heart, the spiritual or spirit. Step back from the Last Supper painting and be curious about how he groups 3 characters into 4 segments at the table. Here are the groupings as seen through Da Vinci's medicine wheel. The heart triad consists of Peter, Judas, and Mother Mary. Peter, painted with a piercing reptilian eye, resembling Da Vinci himself as an older man, represents the self, or the first house of the zodiac. His polarity is the 7th house, other. Peter leans into Mother Mary while pointing across the table toward Mary Magdalene, saying, "Are women worthy to be at this table?" He leans into Mother Mary as he speaks. Mother Mary engages Peter with her practice of listening. Scripture tells us she ponders things in her heart. She represents the 3rd house of the zodiac, integrating in 3D. Her polarity is the 9th house of Mary Magdalene, integration with spirit. She wears her traditional blue and white robes and sits to the right hand of Jesus. She has an unusual head tilt and is connected to the rest of the table by sacred geometry. In the video called Da Vinci's Buttons, we will show how to find this sacred geometry and how to draw it. If you follow the work of Robert Edward Grant, who I respect greatly, he has produced some programs about sacred geometry, and the Last Supper connected to his work in the Great Pyramid. His findings fit perfectly into the mindscape presented in this report. Judas, in the center of the heart triad. The only lighted candle in the painting is here in front of Judas. Partially faceless and wearing murky green clothing off his left shoulder, Judas sits between Peter and Mother Mary, holding a bag of money. He leans hard into the 3D plane of the table, with his back partially to us. Judas represents the 2nd house of the zodiac, grounding. His polarity is the 8th house, letting go. The heart triad and the spirit triad are polarities on the zodiac wheel. The body triad consists of Joseph of Arimathea, the 3rd Mary, and Lazarus. Joseph of Arimathea provided his tomb for Jesus. Here he is depicted with a knife pointing to his belly at the sacral chakra that is the center of the physical body. He represents the 4th house of sensing. His polarity is the Pope, power. Man has 4 brains. The lower brain, located in the belly, is the instinctive function of a human and governs the inner workings and sensations of the body. G.I. Gurdjieff. The third Mary is a student of the Qumran school. She is part of Jesus' immediate inner circle, representing creating, and the 5th house of the zodiac. Her polarity is the 11th house of giving. Lazarus stands at the end of the table, staying current with what is going on. His keyword is "be here now," and he represents the 6th house of the zodiac. His polarity is the new human of the 12th house of bliss. The mind triad consists of the Rabbi Pope, Thomas, and the new human. The 3 men of the mind triad are having a heated discussion about Peter's comments about women. Thomas, in the middle of the mind triad, casts his left hand down, representing a claw, dropped onto a 3D plane. He raises his right hand toward papal authority, as if to say, "Why?" Thomas's left hand, expressive of the feminine side of the body, seems to go down hard on the table as Peter's words are spoken. Are women worthy of being at this table? The new human, while in the act of turning, thrusts his right hand into the very bosom of Mary Magdalene, who has taken to heart this question asked by Peter. His polarity is "be here now," Lazarus in the body triad. The papal archetype, representing DaVinci's reigning Pope Julius II, is in conversation with Thomas about Peter's question about women. The Pope is almost faceless and has a pregnant belly that hangs over the end of the table. His open fingers appear to drip particles of brown dust, piling up all around him and on him. The dirt seems to pour out of his belly like a little river. The same brown paint was used for his cape that drapes over his left shoulder and flows to the ground and off stage right. Da Vinci created this archetype, denoting religious power at different time periods. He is the only one at the table wearing robes of a religious order. Michelangelo also painted Julius II's face into the Sistine Chapel, as the prophet Zechariah, seated at the top of the chapel body, in a position of power, above the door where people enter the Sistine Chapel. Papal authority represents the 10th house of the zodiac, power. And it falls into the mind triad of the medicine wheel. Notice, the Pope and Joseph of Arimathea are polarities on the wheel of 12. Both have things going on with their bellies. Joseph has a knife pointing directly to his belly. The Pope has a river of dirt pouring out of his. The spirit triad consists of James, John, and Mary Magdalene. Touching one thing deeply, we touch everything. Tishnak Khan. sitting to Jesus' left hand. The spirit triad has many unusual symbols, facial expressions, and hand gestures. James, in the 7th house of other, is pointing upward. Da Vinci is suggesting a higher meaning of the word other. The polarity of the 7th house, other, is located in the 1st house with the archetype as Peter, or Da Vinci as his self. John, the beloved, sits at Jesus' left hand in the 8th house of letting go. The expression on John's face conveys an altered state of consciousness. His wide-open posture, his green-robed heart, and his intense facial expression conveys an image of letting go in the sense of working on oneself. He is letting go of what does not serve him. This is a stark contrast to his polarity, represented by Judas, in the 2nd house of grounding. Notice the difference in postures of grounding and letting go. Mary Magdalene has long red hair flowing off her right shoulder as she leans into the spirit triad. She stands tallest in the painting in the 9th house. Her work is integration with spirit. She stands tall in the spirit triad of the Last Supper. Her polarity is Mother Mary, integrating in 3D. Her face is shedding tears. Both of her hands turn inward toward her heart as she looks directly at Peter, who is pointing his finger toward her as he asks about the worthiness of women. Da Vinci captured a future moment described in the Gospel of Mary when Peter asked a question of Mary Magdalene, saying, "Tell us the things that Jesus told you that he did not tell us." Mary answered him with a detailed view of a higher realm recorded in the Gospel of Mary. The text reveals there was immediate disbelief among the men listening to her. Then Andrew said, "I do not believe her. If Jesus wanted us to know these things, he would have told us himself." Peter again said, "Are women worthy to be at this table?" Mary Magdalene takes these words to heart and replies to Peter, "My brother Peter, do you think I have made up these things I tell you that Jesus told me and he did not tell you?" Mary Magdalene was Jesus' beloved companion. It was recorded that he kissed her on the lips. Their closeness was evident, and the male apostles knew that she knew things they were not given. But when they asked her about it, and she freely shared, the Gospel of Mary describes how it did not go well with the men. Conversations among men about women being worthy, as described in the Gospel of Mary, happened before and after Jesus' death, and Da Vinci painted it as currently happening. Even today, it is happening around the world. And much of the world today only remembers Mary Magdalene as a prostitute. Our next video is a reading from the text of the Gospel of Mary.